Hey, what's up, Walking Dead fanatics? Wacky Weirdo here, giving you my review of the long-awaited, most anticipated episode of The Walking Dead ever. Season 7, Episode 1, A Day Will Come When You Won't Be. Now let's talk about that title for a quick second. Are we happy with that? Are you disappointed that this episode wasn't called Something to Fear? Because I kind of am. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like A Day Will Come When You Won't Be. It makes a lot of sense. It's a callback to the season finale of Season 1. But I feel like that would have been better used during the Whisperers storyline when Alpha and them start chopping off heads and putting them on spikes. And I feel like they could have named Episode 1 of Season 7 Something to Fear. That's what we fucking wanted. Since the Season 6 finale wasn't Something to Fear, we assumed Episode 1 of Season 7 was going to be Something to Fear, but it wasn't. So I don't know. I don't know when they're going to use that title. Maybe the mid-season finale. Maybe the mid-season premiere in February. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and find out. But then again, it's not really what the episode's called. It's all about what's in the episode. And this episode brought it. In my opinion, this is definitely the best premiere of any season. Better than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. 5 used to be my favorite premiere. This took the cake. Because this is an emotional roller coaster, man. This fucking episode was brutal, devastating, heartbreaking. And the acting, the acting was magnifico. Everybody in the lineup, the fucking genuine fear in their faces, the tears. You know, Ricky boy, he brought it as usual. And then Jeffrey Dean Morgan with his charismatic charm, making you giggle even when he's bashing your favorite character's head in. I just love the acting in this episode so much. Now, I'm going to be talking about, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I'm going to be all over the place. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So first off, who was it? Well, you know who was it. It was Abraham. Are we happy with this choice? Are we glad that Abraham was it? It's debatable. I'm kind of okay with it and kind of not, because I feel like his death was underappreciated because Glenn's death was just far more brutal. So Glenn's death is gonna, keep flowing through people's minds over and over again, while Abraham's death, not so much, because Abraham took the first swing and he's just got a little bit of blood just running down the side of his head right here. It doesn't even look like the barbed wire really did much damage. Like I was hoping it was going to pow and then fucking Abraham's eye was going to kind of bulge out. But it didn't. He just rises up, says, "Suck my nuts." Then Negan comes down with a second swing, and then he just starts bashing his brains in, and then you see his dead body laying there with all the brains on the ground. And it's brutal. But like I said, man, I just feel like it's underappreciated compared to Glenn's, because Glenn took the hits, had the eye bulging. Negan said most of the comic book lines when he was killing Glenn, and it's just the most rememberable. But I do love the way Abraham went out, man, saying "suck my nuts" right before he gets his head completely mutilated. That's just great. Now, the problem with Abraham being it is so many people figured it out, right after the fucking cliffhanger. Because on Talking Dead, for the Season 6 finale, Mr. Scott Gimple says, "We knew that. People would be Zaprudering it." And then people were like, "Zapruder? His first name's Abraham. So Abraham is it." Boom. Scott Gimple gave us who it was the same night the fucking cliffhanger ended. It's crazy. And also the Orange Crush theory, which still blows my mind that it actually makes fucking sense. You got Denise, who is all about that Orange Crush. She wants to find an Orange Crush. She finally finds one. And what happens? She gets Abraham's death from the comic book. And then the season 7 premiere, orange-haired Abraham gets his head crushed. So boom, 2 fucking things that came to fruition. Scott Gimple, Abraham Zapruder, the Orange Crush theory. Fucking mind blown, man. And the cool thing about Glenn's death is it mirrors the comic book so well. I just put a bunch of random crying faces up here. But as you can see, the way Negan puts Lucille behind his back, staring at him. But see, I have a few problems with the directing in this episode. Like this right here, they should have panned the camera behind Glenn so it could have looked more like this right here. But instead, they had it from the side and you can barely see Glenn in the picture when he's saying these lines. But this is phenomenal, man. The work they did on the fucking crushed in head, the eyeball bulging, the blood just pouring down his face, him just uttering the words, "Maggie, I'll find you." Man, that's fucking heartbreaking. And then I also got this picture from the comic book, as you can see, pretty brutal. His eyeball here, got the eyeball, bits of brains, his arm up like this, the other arm back like that. Mirrored the comic book perfectly. But like I said, because Glenn's was so brutal, poor Abe's not as rememberable. Other than saying, "Suck my nuts." Something else, right before Abe took the first swing, he chunked up the deuce one last time to his boo thang. And you can see her looking at the deuce like, oh my god, this is it. He's chunking up the deuce for the last time. And man, when I seen that, I was like, fuck, man, that's so fucking heartbreaking, because Sasha lost Bob, lost Tyrese, now she lost Abraham, right when they were talking about starting a family together. And the fucking RV on the way to the hilltop, man, that shit just eats you up inside thinking about it, dude. But yeah, man, and another reason people figured out it was Abraham was just how the finale played out with Abraham.
We are.
Package deal.
Package deal. What the bitch?
We will.
If we have to shove each and every one of them up their own asses. Think we can do it?
What?
What they did. Glenn and Maggie. Just asking if you could do that. If doing something as big as that. If that's living.
It's living, man.
Could
But you ain't living no more, buddy.
Yeah. I could. Now. Just so you know.
She knows, buddy. She is gonna miss you so much.
Bitch nuts. You go steady on the pedal.
Now this right here, this part of the cliffhanger pretty much let us know that Abraham was gonna take it. Because him and Eugene were pretty much feuding the whole time after Eugene said that he really wasn't a scientist and he really didn't know a cure
always were. We just didn't know it.
And then they finally pretty much made up and showed respect for one another. And then played that sad-ass violin music like this was the last time they were actually going to be able to be next to one another. Man, that music is just so sad and depressing. It just makes me want to cry. And then we got Glenn's foreshadowing. Almost took it back to the head in the season 5 premiere. Lucked up and didn't. Episode 9 has a wooden bat. Episode 12 of season 6 sees all of Lucille's victims on the wall in the Savior's compound with their faces bashed in. Right after he kills for the first time in the whole series, man. Like, I just hate that they took away his innocence and then took away his life, you know. And then right here, listen to the lyrics. I was broken in a million little pieces. She starts rubbing on his head, broken in a million little pieces. I mean, AMC, Scott Gimple, Robert Kirkman, they're good at throwing in all these little clues here and there, and I love it. Because there's so many like really hardcore fans out there that really pay attention and figure them out so quickly. Now, this scene right here, where Negan is telling Rick to mutilate his child, is somewhat of a biblical reference. Negan is basically God, Rick is basically Abraham, and Carl is basically Isaac. And God pretty much tells Abraham to kill his son. And as Abraham's about to kill his son, God tells him not to, and to sacrifice a lamb instead. So, you know, there's all these like biblical undertones when it comes to Negan, as you've seen in the San Diego Comic-Con trailer. You've seen at his sanctuary, he's walking by and everybody just bows to him because he's basically a humanized God. He wants everybody to treat him like he's king shit. Somebody's gonna have to knock him down a notch. Will it be Ricky Boy? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Now, we're also gonna be talking about this right here. This was a leaked video that leaked 2 days before the premiere. And everybody is saying that AMC leaked it on purpose just to throw off who everybody thought was actually going to be the victims, because they know that the Spoiling Dead fans had already pretty much figured out that it was Abraham and Glenn a couple months after the cliffhanger. So they put this out there to have people saying, oh my God, it's not Abraham and Glenn, it's fucking Maggie. So many people, I mean, this is a real scene. This is probably going to be, you know, like an alternate scene on the Blu-ray. You're probably going to get Maggie, Carl, Eugene, pretty much everybody in the lineup being chosen as it and getting their heads bashed in, just like in this clip. And if that's the case, that's going to be awesome. That is going to be a really cool feature in the Season 7 Blu-ray that's going to be releasing, I'm going to assume, probably next August. But yeah, man. You got Glenn, he gets knocked out by Dwight. Now, I kind of like the directing for Maggie's kill compared to Abraham. Because watch, if you... Boom! I just love that for some reason. I don't know. I like the fact that the camera was behind Maggie and you see him come down and then her body just drops. And I also like that too, how the camera's still behind Maggie and you're seeing Negan holding Lucille saying, taking it like a champ. You see his expressions. But in the premiere, they have the camera panned on Abraham when Negan says taking it like a champ. And I'm like, what the fuck, man? You don't even see Lucille in his face or anything. You just hear it. And then Negan says, suck my nuts. And then all of a sudden you see Lucille just appear and just knock him back down. And I thought that was a bad directing choice for the premiere. This directing is so much better. Yeah, let's go back and watch the premiere right quick. Death, and so I can show you what the hell I'm talking about. God damn it, Daryl. Fuck you. Yeah, right here. Watch what I'm saying. See, that was cool right there. The first swing they get, that's awesome. But it's... Yeah, see? I mean, I can understand they want to focus on him since it's the last time you actually get to see his face intact. But I still feel like they should have put the camera behind him for just to get Negan's expression saying, oh, taking it like a champ. And then they could have panned it back to Abraham where he says, suck my nuts. And then they could have had Negan do the swing and then knock him out. So there was some, like Greg Nicotero, he's a pretty great director, but I feel like there's some hit or misses here and there. Like even in the season 6 finale cliffhanger, there was this, when Negan does this, spreads his arms out, you can't even see him do that because for some reason Greg Nicotero had the camera panned back here where you're looking at all the backs of the saviors and only a couple of the people in the lineup, and you can barely see Negan through a couple of the saviors when he's spreading his arms like this. I was like, why, Greg Nicotero? Come on, bro. So there's just these tiny little directorial mishaps that kind of take away from the greatness of the episode. But all in all, man, this episode was just great. I loved it so fucking much, man. You know, it's just sad that we lost fucking Glenn and Abraham because, I mean, they really were two of my favorite characters. I mean, I liked Negan before this episode, but I kind of don't like him now because, you know, he's a bad guy, dude. They made him way more fucking savage in the show than he was in the comic. I mean, he kills 2 people in the lineup, and then he almost gets Rick to chop off his son's arm. I mean, come on. This dude is just mental. He's a fucking psychopath. And he's just so into himself. And I don't know, man. I'm excited for the next episode. Sadly, it's on the Kingdom. So the whole episode's probably just going to be all about the Kingdom. We're probably not going to see any of our survivors until probably episode 3, maybe episode 4. Because I think they did that because this episode was just so dark and emotional that they wanted to take it to a little bit of a lighter place, which is the Kingdom. You know, we got the tiger, we got Ezekiel, we got this nice, thriving community where there's really not too much drama or, you know, violence going on in there. That way we can have a respite from the violence, from the misery, and then we jump back into it the week after. You know, I'm cool with that. I'm definitely excited to see Ezekiel and see really how Shiva looks and moves, because I'm sure they're going to show him walking around with Shiva. So I want to see if the CGI looks terrible or looks pretty good. But yeah, anyways, those are my thoughts on the episode. Like I said, I really liked it. It is my favorite premiere out of all 7 premieres over the past 7 years. This is definitely the best one. Episode 1 of season 5, No Sanctuary. That's my second favorite, not second best. And then season 1, episode 1, that's my third favorite. So those are my top 3 right there, man. But man, there's just, I don't think any episode for the rest of the season is going to be able to match this. I just really don't, man. They came out the gate swinging, and things just aren't going to be as brutal. And honestly, that's a good thing, because I think after losing 2 of our people, we really don't need to lose anymore. I do want to see Rick and company kill some saviors, though. Don't kill Stephen Ogg, though. Don't kill Trevor. He's my favorite. You don't really see him in too much. You know, he's got a small role in Westworld. I think he's got a role in another TV show or movie coming out sometime later this year or sometime next year. But yeah, I'm hoping I get to see him and Negan hanging out and just having like some weird conversations together. That would be awesome. But anyways, what did you guys think of the episode? Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy the Easter eggs, the comic book references, the biblical references, all that goodness? If so, let me know your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you on another direction. That don't make any fucking sense. I really need to get some brain cells. I drunk and smoked way too much when I was younger. Fuck.